as Professor Wise indicated, draftable, as in later this year, first rounders. Crimson Tide have won 8 straight. The opening tap controlled by Mississippi State. Rematch of 2 teams that met 28 days ago. What was the closest SEC game for Bama up to this point of the season. Can Mississippi State find a way to generate enough offense to have a chance? Competitive certainly in the first game. 5 to shoot. Tolu Smith, no. The rebound to Brandon Miller. Starting 5 for the Crimson Tide. 8-1 mark with this starting 5. The only loss coming to Gonzaga. One of just 2 setbacks on the year for Alabama. Undefeated in the SEC at 7-0. You take a look for the Bulldogs. Shaq Moore, first start of the season. 29 starts a year ago for Mississippi State. Another turnover. Here's Sears, a stop and pop. And Tolu Smith controls it.
Yeah, Mississippi State, Roy, can't allow every possession where the shot clock is dictating your quality of shot. Look for earlier offense. I like this a lot.
Tolu Smith on the putback of the Jeffries miss. Bulldogs strike first. Mississippi State 1-6 in the league. Competitive, close losses. Free throw shooting in general has been a bit of an issue, but certainly athletic enough. Teams in the conference this year. Bunch of teams in the conference this year. And under consideration according to Joe Lunardi at this point. Off balance, no. More clears.
Way too many dribbles in that set. Alabama had a mismatch, couldn't take advantage.
More off the bounce. Too strong, and a foul inside. It'll go against the Bulldogs. Tolu Smith picks up personal infraction number 1. Chris Jans, year number 1, coming in from New Mexico State. They got off to the best start since 2003. Non-conference play, a bit of a different issue so far since SEC play has started.
It was interesting because when we talked to him at shoot-around this morning, he was talking about Bama's younger guys than they were the first time they played. He always felt like the freshmen have a longer, bigger growth spurt.
Miller slams it down.
That's Alabama's burn action. Dribble at you, a little Princeton style pocket pass.
You were saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Poked away by Clowney. It'll stay for the Bulldogs.
Miller so lethal at the perimeter. There's the dribble at the pocket pass. Miller delivers. Nice find that time by Bradley.
Sean Davis off the screen inside to McNair, and McNair off glass. It's 4-2.
Yeah, McNair is coming off a really good game against Florida. Had 10 and 6. And he was on the floor at the end in that close game.
Clowney in and out with a 3. Jeffries clears. What do you make of McNair kind of getting significant minutes? Tolu Smith just picked up his first foul. Certainly that could be an issue, but McNair has been quality off the bench.
I like that because it eliminates now Tolu Smith getting his second quick foul.
Davis triple team. And Jeffries attacking high off the glass. 6-2.
Great hesitation move by Jeffries on the blow-by. This is the start State wanted as the road team. Oh,
poked away.
Hands.
Stolen. Matthews. And the flush. Jeffries was there for the putback. Visitors out in front 8-2. Bradley thinking about it. And wide open for 3. Miller and Jeffries battling for the basketball, and a foul called on Miller.
Mississippi State so good on the defensive end.
Nate Oates, year number 4, the number 2 ranking, as high as we've seen since 2003, that January. Crimson Tide were ranked number 1 in the land, the coach of the year in the conference in 2021, and a lot of smiles, a lot of positivity, good vibes surrounding the program right now, Coach.
And a lot of depth on that bench, and we're already seeing it.
you talk to people close to the Alabama program that have covered the team for years, decades, and to a man they say that this team right now has got a chance to be the best all time. If you think about it, that's saying something. There's Davis. Mississippi State comes out gunning 10-2.
We've had Mississippi State several times. I thought at times they're guilty of maybe passing up shots. I don't see that right now. Confident group.
5 of 9 from the floor. Alabama just 1 for 5 to start. An 8-0 run for MSU. Griffin behind the back. And what was the call? Baseline. Held possession. Mississippi State doing it with offense so far, but the D has been legit this year. We'll explain that coming up.
They are more than 9 steals a game. They can do it on the ball. They can do it in passing lanes. But when their defense can help out their offense, good things for the Bulldogs.
Simply a handful to deal with, sometimes even full court.
Yeah, they'll go to this 1-3-1. The shaded area, you want to stay away from that. That's a trapping area. That's where turnovers can happen. Mississippi State very opportunistic. And as we went to break, I talked about their defense helping out their offense. Here is another look at the 1-3-1. Same kind of thing with the coverage. The ball must get below the free throw line. It does not. As a result, dribbling into trouble leads to the turnover. Bama had 19 turnovers in that first game against Mississippi State.
Contrasting styles tonight. You take a look at strength versus strength. Defensively, Mississippi State, one of the best in the country. Offensively, Alabama's going to check all of the boxes. I want to ask you, playing a team twice in 28 days, in the rematch, how difficult is it for the team that won the first game to get up and stay up mentally for a game like this?
Well, it's a just because game for Alabama. Just because you're ranked second in the country, just because you won the first game, as we watch inside Clowney work the offensive glass. You're not just going to show up and play and win. And so they've got to have that kind of focus. I've talked about this, and you and I talked about this earlier in the week. Would Alabama be ranked number 1? Well, they're ranked number 2. Well, guess what? Rank 1, rank 2, that is a great honor. But with that honor also comes a burden that you're going to get everybody's best shots. The blue bloods in our sport, they know this. Alabama football, they know this.
We asked Nate Oates today about rat poison. Is there any kind of conversations like that? He said, no, it's just about getting better. With all respect to Coach Saban, we get it. Popular phrase around these parts. Clowney 2 for 2 at the line. And it's 10-4.
That's good news. Clowney just 59% on the year.
Clowney coming off an illness in this first meeting between these two. Really wasn't 100%. Matthews will shoot 2. Mississippi State the aggressors so far and finding a way to generate offense.
Yeah, that's 1-4 attacking another 4. Gurley. I like Matthews in terms of his definitive path to the basket. Very aggressive. Wanted to get fouled. Looked for and to get the contact, absorb the contact.
Junior out of Olive Branch, Mississippi. This has been an issue all season long. We take a look at the drive.
Isolation right side of the floor. Notice he didn't waste dribbles. One of my pet peeves, if you're going to dribble, go somewhere. And that time Matthews did.
What's your pet peeve in announcing?
Wow, I've got so many with you. Where do I start?
Matthews 0 for 2. It'll be tracked down by Reed.
You go 0 for 2 at the line, that's like a turnover.
I sent you a lob with that question, didn't I?
Yes.
You dunked it home. McNair against Clowney, and McNair, the transfer from New Mexico State, with a jump hook.
One of the advantages that State will have in this game, even though, and here's the 2-2-1, a different full court look, is Mississippi State is huge inside. Here's the 2-3. 2-2-1, back to the 2-3. They will change their defenses all game long.
Quinterly checking in. That's a 3 by Dom Welch. No. Rebound pops out to Noah Gurley. Gurley had it stolen by McNair.
Yeah, you got to get rid of the ball sooner.
Was interesting talking with Chris Jans today, and he told us, we don't want to slow this game down tonight. We don't want to not shoot threes. we got to take threes, we got to make threes. We want to speed up the tempo against Alabama to have a chance.
Yeah, he felt like they couldn't score on the half court. That's one of their struggles. And he point blank said, we need to shoot more threes.
Basketball wedgie. And checking in will be Tyler Stevenson. Charles Bediako also back on the floor for Bama. You surprised by this start, 12-4? I think if you're flipping around the country tonight and you see 12-4 Bama on the wrong end of that score.
I really like the fact that Mississippi State is looking for early offense, and they've had much better success.
Jeffries inside. And the rebound ripped down by Welch.
Well, I like the move, but you've got to finish that.
Here's Quinterly. Dazzling moves. Came up short. Bediako. And a foul called against Bama.
Well, you talked about the fours going against each other. That time it was the 14s. Take another look. Off the one-handed miss. It's Bediako using that chicken wing to clear out Tyler Stevenson. Good call.
His first 8-point lead for the visitors. And McNair could not corral the pass.
You just cannot have those kinds of unforced turnovers. Trying to work on the switching mismatch inside.
And Chris Jans, I thought he was optimistic in our conversations with him today. I don't want to say surprisingly, but when you consider what Alabama's done to other league foes this season,
right?
He felt like that they had maybe a couple of tricks up their sleeve, and so far we've seen that. Quinterly has some tricks of his own.
Kind of a fearless driver to the basket, isn't he?
Bit of a different role this year with this team, and he's been effective. Tolu Smith.
See, those are shots Smith's got to make. He had both feet almost in the restricted area arc.
Bediako was slammed. And a lot of traffic in the paint. Matthews was in there. He picks up the personal.
Quinterly has given this team a little lift coming off the bench. He was double figures at Missouri. He had 13. That was the 6th time this year he's been in double figures.
Defense was exceptional in that game. Tolu Smith nearly came up with a steal. Mizzou shot just 3 of 28 from three-point range in that loss at home to Alabama.
And then they made 16 at Missouri, at Ole Miss.
Welch rejected by Smith. Here comes Stevenson. You see if that sparks Tolu inside with some of those chippies. And instead off his fingertips, out of bounds.
But Roy, I didn't like the timing of the pass. Tolu Smith is not ready. That too far out from the basket. Watch this block. That's rim protection, isn't it? Take another look. Tolu Smith, by the time Welch pivots and turns all the way around, Smith is able to recover with the rejection.
You took a team to the Final Four.
In another lifetime.
In another lifetime, but they were ranked, and they were ranked highly. When that team became special, as Moore gets the block here, how hard was it to keep their reality in check and to make sure they always stayed focused and stayed sharp?
Well, I will tell you this. That team didn't do what this Alabama team is doing in terms of the winning streak, in terms of where they're ranked, in terms of the undefeated league play. Now, see, this is where Smith must finish. He's getting the ball in a great scoring zone area.
Crimson Tide won for their last 9, trailing by 8. Miller double team. The skip pass. There's Welch. That's a 3.
Yeah, it's really good to see because Welch 1 for 17 from bonus land on the year.
Coming back from that calf injury, he's played in just 8 games, including this one tonight. Transfer from St. Bonaventure. Matthews.
The State is getting almost anything they want. Well, you cannot be slow in transition defense, though.
Griffin off the mark, out of bounds back to the Bulldogs.
Mississippi State off to the good start as the road team here tonight. It starts inside with Tolu Smith. Look how deep he's catching the ball. That's a bonus zone. And then Cam Matthews with a nifty little pocket pass. The visitors up 7.
Junior going through the back door for the easy basket for the Bulldogs. They maintain this advantage. And Tyler Stevenson just inside the three-point arc. Yeah, that counts for 2. It's a 10-point advantage for the road team. 10 for Mississippi State over number 2 Alabama. Bulldogs 12-7, 1-6 in the league. And among the teams under consideration by our good friend Joe Lunardi, ESPN bracketologist for the NCAA tournament. There is work to do, though, on the old resume. Tonight, if you're able to find a way to sneak off this upset, it would go a long ways, right? A long ways.
You will jump over a lot of teams.
I would think so. You're talking about quad 1. You're talking about the second-ranked team in the country and a major stepping stone for a first-year head coach.
This switching every screen on these out-unders is creating havoc for Alabama. Fake a screen, slip a screen.
Brandon Miller, just 1 field goal attempt so far in this first half. Leading scorer in the SEC, leading freshman scorer in America. Reed picks up the foul. That's his second.
So, Roy, let me ask you this. What has changed in the first game to so far here tonight? In the first game, Alabama was +8 in points in the paint, which is a surprise. But tonight, not so much. Mississippi State +12.
It's still early. Here's Miller. Crossover and the dish. Quinterly splashes home a 3.
But doesn't that speak volumes about Miller? Does not force the issue, not frustrated because he has only shot 1 time.
That's his mentality, laid-back personality.
Yeah, we had a great chat with him this morning.
Maybe the single most impressive conversation I've had, the first-year player and a star, his magnitude. Reed, no. Pringle with the rebound.
Now, one of the things about Bama that you have to guard against, they can score in bunches.
Sears led the MAC in scoring last year at Ohio, was pushed. That's Reed, that's his 3rd.
Sears, and why is this with left-handers seem to matter? Whether you're talking about Devo Davis or Wheeler at Kentucky, left-handers seem to want to go left. You know they're going to go left. The defense knows they're going to go left, and guess what? They go left and get left.
Amazing how that works. That is the 3rd foul on Eric Reed Jr. Bama in the bonus, and Sears blistering 81% at the line will get 1 more. Our college basketball doubleheader coming up next Wednesday night. Wendell Green leads number 15 Auburn at home against Georgia. That's a rematch. LSU and Mizzou at 9. That's Wednesday, February 1. As in next week, right here on SEC Network. Also on the app. Remember, Auburn lost in Athens about 2 weeks ago. Big win for Mike White, year number 1, of course, in the Classic City. And Auburn's played really well since then.
Have not lost and have a big game going on right now against A&M.
That game on ESPN2. Sears 2 for 2. We want you to stay right here. A good start in this one. A surprising start. McNair open. Pass had too much zest. Here's Miller attacking. Miller silky smooth. And he had something to say afterwards. 1 possession game. Shaq Moore got the bounce.
Nice crease that Moore found there. How about the left-hander finishing with the right hand off the window?
Well, you feel like Miller starting to go takeover mode. The floater. He did not get the bounce. Back to MSU.
We talk about Miller. I want you to watch as he surveys the floor, bringing it up. Watch his eyes look around. He's already looking up the floor. He has to beat one man. He gets around him, but look at his eyes again. He's still surveying where everyone is. He notices the defense is spread out. He goes all the way to the rim and finishes.
Miller, number 9 in the ESPN 100, McDonald's All-American, 5-star, one of the highest-rated prospects to ever sign with Alabama hoops. Dad, of course, played tight end back in the day here in Tuscaloosa. Approaching 5 to go in the first. McNair against Clowney. Davis wide open. That's a 3 and a big shot for the Bulldogs. 29-21.
Great job out of the double team that time by McNair. Here's a mismatch.
Yeah, McNair on Miller. He'll get it back this time. Defended by Jeffries. Griffin somehow snuck it inside to Clowney. Clipped on the putback attempt. And free throws coming as McNair picks up the personal.
If you get a little offensive game, you're going to get doubled as a big man. Watch McNair invite the double, waits for it, see him look around, puts it on the deck. He reads the double, finds the open player in terms of Davis on the perimeter. That's an easy inside-out attack. Well done by State.
And Davis, one of their top three-point shooters. Clowney gets one more free throw. Tolu Smith's going to check back in. McNair to the bench. And Noah Gurley comes in for Brandon Miller.
McNair, Roy, has played so well. He's allowing Chris Jans to utilize Smith and McNair in a different way, almost equal minutes. That will keep both of them fresher.
I think McNair's familiarity coming in with Jans from New Mexico State. He's like a coach's voice on the floor.
Yes.
I don't want to say a quarterback. We don't want to make that comparison, but you know what I mean. 29-22. Bama cut it to 3. Then a quick burst by Mississippi State, which now made 4 of their last 5 from the floor. Well, Jeffries just took a tour of the planet right there.
Little hockey move.
Moore will feed Tolu Smith. Active inside and a chance for 3. Tolu Smith came to play tonight.
I love the fact that Tolu Smith, even though he put the ball on the deck, the dribble is so low. Watch this dribble. Doesn't come up above his knees. See how low that was? Easy finish in traffic.
Coach, he's already in double figures. He's got 10 to go along with 3 boards and 2 dimes. I mentioned during the break, I thought that block at the rack got him going, and you said it also could be McNair getting more PT.
Yes.
And I thought that was an astute observation. More full court pressure here.
And here's the 1-3-1 for the first time.
Quinterly, that's a deep 3.
See, I think you can get that shot anytime.
You fell down there. Bediako already has 3 personals. And the jump ball is called. It'll go back to Mississippi State.
Here's the 1-3-1. Trying to attack. The ball must get below the free throw line to have success. So here comes Moore on the double. There's the trap. Ball still hasn't gotten below the free throw line, so you never move the zone out of that 1-3-1 formation.
You're telling me the shot doesn't count in getting below the free throw line there.
I would tell you, you need to get below the free throw line.
Leads back to 9. Davis, the dish to Smith. Jeffries, back to Tolu. We're going the other way. Offensive foul called on Tolu Smith. The lead is 9 for Mississippi State over number 2 Alabama.
Right now because they are the aggressor. They are being so physical and doing it in the paint as well.
Mark Weiss, what Big 12 SEC matchup are you looking forward to the most, and who wins it?
Oh, my goodness, Fish. I love the question. I am most looking forward to, well, as a native Kentucky.
Here we go.
Okay, you always look forward to Kansas and Kentucky because it's just special. But the game that I'm most looking forward to is Texas and Tennessee.
I'm with you on that, but I got bad news for Bill Self. I got bad news for KU. They've lost 3 in a row. They've never lost 4 in a row since he's been in Lawrence as the head man there.
Yeah.
I think that changes Saturday night. I'm just saying.
You had Kentucky last night. What'd you think?
They're back, and they're playing the bigger lineup. Xavier Wheeler, I think, has found his role. And we mentioned it last night in the broadcast, dropping dimes and kind of playing under control in the second half and just doing what he does best. And I think he's in a good position mentally, and I think it's only going to get better from this point moving forward.
How do you like being the analyst?
My seat felt kind of warm there for a minute. I like it for like that one easy question, not for something like that on the fly. We have such great studio support. Peter Burns and the guys, Fish, high off the glass, that one dropped. Patrick Young, Pat Bradley, Ron Slay getting it done now. We appreciate, love all of you. Lead down to 7. This turned out to be the game of the night. Let's see if this continues. Davis behind the back. 5 on the shot clock. Jeffries launching a 3 and connecting the second of the half.
Looked to me like he gave that a little extra arc.
Skip pass. Clowney. Gurley. Herman transfer. No. Rebound claimed by Miller.
A willing rebounder, a willing passer. So unique as a freshman who can score the ball the way Miller can.
Shot clock under 5. Crowd will tell you the story. And a shot clock violation as Bradley was rejected.
Roy, right now, Mississippi State's defense, they're dictating the kind of shot that Alabama's getting.
That Texas-Tennessee matchup. I just want to see what that looks like with 10 minutes to go in the second half, right? I mean, last year, the SEC Big 12 Challenge, everybody's going to be watching. The Big 12's played some great ball this year. That has to be pointed out. So, look, a chance to improve some resumes. Shaq Moore for 3, no. Boy, Clowney ripped that one away from Matthews, who hit the deck and is slow to get up. Miller for 3.
That's really the best look Miller's had this entire first half.
2 for 4 from the floor is Miller. That 3 was off by Davis.
But that's the 3 that Chris Jans was talking about. He wants them to shoot more 3s, especially early in the clock.
Miller, left-handed finish. How sweet was that?
Oh, my goodness. Take another look at the artistry of Brandon Miller. Left hand outside the arc, off the window. Taking what the defense allowed.
Now, don't forget, tomorrow night, the 12th annual We Back Pat Week continues with a women's basketball doubleheader right here on the SEC Network, also on the ESPN app. The rematch, Mississippi State, Ole Miss in the Magnolia State. That's at 9. But up first, Bama and Arkansas at 7 Eastern. All that headed your way tomorrow. Happy to be associated with the We Back Pat initiative that brings awareness to the Pat Summitt Foundation and Alzheimer's disease.
Roy, on the women's side, is it similar to the men in that we've had Alabama on the men and a gap, Tennessee and a gap? On the women's side, is it South Carolina in a gap, LSU in a gap?
I mean, LSU and Angel Reese quickly becoming an enormous story on the women's side, and you just wonder, okay, the deeper we get into league play, can it continue? I have a sneaking suspicion the answer is yes. And to answer your question, yes, that is very similar. And I hate it when you know more than me, and it sounds like you do right there. 90 seconds to go, an entertaining first half, and perhaps an upset in the making in Tuscaloosa. Jeffries inside to McNair, the easy flush, and Clowney, I think he got hit and was slow to get up.
I think the officials are going to take a look at this. Clowney was battling McNair inside for post position.
Our veteran officiating crew tonight, Terry Oglesby, Mike Nance, and Will Howard. Lead is 10. We'll have another look ourselves.
I don't see a lot there, do you? I'd have to see a different angle. Here's a better look. Watch as Clowney comes in, and there's the right hand. It goes around a little bit.
That elbow slings backwards.
Is it enough? Is it excessive? It's really close. I think it's going to be a play on. It's just a basketball play.
You never can tell intent, but it felt like he was just turning. Right. The elbow swung and the natural transition of the body going from one direction to the other.
And intent shouldn't come into play and doesn't come into play anyway.
So no F1 here because it wasn't excessive and or unnecessary, Coach.
That first word, period, wasn't excessive. Here's a little 2-2-1. Again, giving Bama a little different look.
Clowney. Back iron. Jeffries the rebound. The dish to Shaq Moore. A perfect start for Mississippi State. It's number 2 Bama.
Should go 2 for 1 here.
Jeffries on Clowney. Pass is picked off by Brandon Miller. 1-on-2. Boy, Sears and Quinterly were right there. 6-second differential between the clocks. Sears. Threes have not been there so far. Ripped away by Jeffries. Matthews a bump. And an offensive foul.
You're just going a little too fast. You had last shot opportunity. Once you didn't score in transition. Again, that's such a tough call. I'm a big believer on any 50-50 call like that. Give the offensive player the benefit of the doubt. I think Matthews agrees with me.
Friday night, what a gymnastics triple header we have for you right here on the SEC Network. Also on the ESPN app. Number 17, Georgia, the Gym Dogs, and number 2, Florida. Get us started at 6 Eastern. Top 15 showdown between Bama and Kentucky up next at 7:30. Followed by Arkansas and LSU at 9 from the barn in Fayetteville. What a top 25 gymnastics lineup headed your way. Friday Night Heights returns. Meanwhile, here in T-Town, 36-26. Bulldogs have led by as many as 11. Last time this one was tied, it was 2 apiece.
Where has this game been played so far? Down in that high rent district, and Mississippi State has really thrived.
Outscoring Bama 26-14 in the paint. Shot clock is off. Let's see what Nate Oates wants to draw up.
Here's their best creator off the bounce.
There goes Quinterly. Outside to Welch. That's a 3 at the buzzer. 36-29, and the 7-point deficit represents Alabama's largest halftime deficit of the season.
Last possession, the best creator is Quinterly. He gets the high ball screen, gets into the paint, attracts defenders. The kick out to the opposite corner. Welch knocks down his second 3-ball here in the first half.
36-29 our score. Halftime report coming up right now. Good evening, Peter Burns, Patrick Young, and Fish.
Thank you, boys. Well, that's a wild one in Tuscaloosa we'll talk about in just a little bit. How about A&M and Auburn? Get you highlights of this game. Bruce Pearl, Buzz Williams,
My goodness, the jungle was rocking early, Patrick Young.
Oh, look at Allen Flanagan coming in, just letting them know, hey, I'm here.
Tigers early 10-2 lead. Yeah, they're liking it there. Just under 12 minutes to go in the first. Katie Johnson doesn't want to give it up because that's my ball. I got it. To the rack. Auburn. See, a lead, but then all of a sudden, Fish, you've been telling me about this Aggie squad. Here they go.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M is built to beat Auburn. And the reason why defensively they are so sound, they make Auburn play 94 feet and with a shorter shot clock. And then offensively, they do not turn over the basketball. Tyrese Boots Rafferty right there with the big-time shot. I love this Aggie team.
How about this? A little defense into offense. Edison Garcia.
Oh, watch your head.
Are you kidding me? Little nightcap upsets brewing here in the SEC. 42-30 at that point. A&M would add a couple more right before half. What? That's not even a WHAT. That's a WT. What is happening? Up by 15. That's what the Aggies. What is
league play, baby?
Hey,
finally.
You talked about it in full disclosure. Before we started today, you came over here and you said, watch out for this Mississippi State squad. That's what Damian Fishback was saying. Why were you so confident that there was going to be some mismatches in this one?
Well, because of the teams that have given Alabama problems throughout the non-conference schedule. Adam Sanogo, the big for UConn, that allowed them to beat them. Drew Timme and Gonzaga that put up 100 points. These are the type of games that Alabama needs. A guy like Tolu Smith, who's on the interior, so we find out what Alabama's going to do when you have to double team on a big man inside and then go to close out. This is exactly what we saw for the entire basketball game. Can you get rebounds against guys that are physically stronger? I think Mississippi State's a different weight class. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're heavyweights. Alabama's going to have to adjust to this style and this physical toughness of the Bulldogs.
The biggest adjustment that I see that Alabama has to make, they cannot allow Mississippi State to get into the paint with no resistance.
Look at those circles.
Billy Donovan, create the disadvantage. You have to create some type of, and if the ball touches the paint, your defense is exposed and doesn't have an opportunity to really recover. That's when a late closeout comes in here. Somebody comes in, overhelps. And yes, State is not taking a lot of threes. I'm not a fan of them taking these early threes right now because they're getting such great quality shots and possessions when they touch the paint.
Yeah.
Force Alabama to defend for a long period of time. If they want to take quick shots, make them do that, but force them to defend for 30 seconds on the opposite side. And Alabama's finding ways, but they have to find a way to turn Mississippi State over, get some easy baskets, and then that can ignite their offense.
And Fish, get that crowd into it, right? Students were rocking and rolling Coleman. They're waiting for something. They just haven't had it. Maybe it was a three right before half.
Everybody needs to pump the brakes, though. 20 more minutes for the Crimson Tide. They can put up a barrage of points. Brandon Miller hadn't even got going yet. All of those weapons. I can't wait to see the second half of this one.
Well, State, it's a good way to start. Up by 7 at the break. Tears. Ziegler, feeling it, Fish.
Yeah, unbelievable night once again. 7 assists and 0 turnovers for the young fella.
That's a clean sheet. Ball's up 4, and, you know, it's not Zakai's put up 30 points, Patrick Young, but it's just such a team effort right now.
Yeah, and the perfect description of this team is clinical. No one has to do anything extra because each player understands the system and gets it done.
Oh, was that clinical?
It was clinical to get out of the way of that dunk and not end up on a poster, that's for sure.
What do you call that?
A business decision,
A business decision.
Slide to the left.
Moncrief does it. Georgia down 13 at the break, but Tennessee's defense just a little too stout for Georgia. Vescovy back healthy with the steal, one of his 5 of the night. Then Ziegler out to Adu.
Beautiful
Wide
pass. Man, they play at their own pace.
Vols roll 70-41 over Georgia. Down in your former neck of the woods, Patrick Young, Alex Fudge, CJ Felder, inactive tonight, so who is going to step up? Well, how about Kawasi Reeves? New hairdo, too, huh?
New hairdo. It's pretty unspectacular compared to the other ones he's had.
Oh, hey, whatever it is, it's working right now for him. Now Colin Castleton inside the paint for the layup. Florida leading by 11 early, and Reeves kind of feeling it. In addition, Myron Jones with a nice assist. They're feeling it right there at Exact Tech. Then, early second half, Florida offense still cooking. Castleton
Nice
dunks it.
interior pass from Peter Burns. It's like that's up here. You know what I'm saying? It just flows, Burns.
It works. 79-57, a little exclamation point here.
Oh!
They were having fun. A couple blowouts in the early games. 81-60, all Gators. All right, 24. Need a little more Kobe in you in the second half. He's got 6 points. See if the tie can out a comeback, or we see one of the biggest upsets of the season there in Teton.
Habs, 7-point advantage as we get things underway for our final 20 minutes. Professor Mark Wise, Roy Philpott courtside. MSU dominant in the paint in the first 20 and impressive in many different ways.
Well, State is wired to score block to block, and they started this game scoring block to block and kept it up. Whether you're talking about getting the game started with this low backdoor action with Matthews finding Tolu Smith down in the arc area, allowing him to operate, create his own. Shaq Moore with the nifty little finish by the left-hander on the right-hand side. Matthews in transition, but it's cleaned up by Jeffries. But if you're really wanting to focus in, Tolu Smith impacted the game on the defensive end early, offensive end late. Outstanding first half, and when you look at the combination of Smith and McNair in that 5-man position, they combined for 16 points and went 8 of 10 from the field. Bama has to do a better job guarding down in the paint area.
Mississippi State 17 of 30 from the floor, 57%. Alabama just 3 of 16 from 3. You wonder if those trends can continue in the second half. We're about to find out. The home team, white unis, the ball first. And Bradley throws it up and in.
I think Alabama needs more of that. They need more north-south.
Crimson Tide have won 8 straight. Undefeated in the SEC. Best start in the conference since '87.
Alabama going under screens. Chris Jans wanted his team to shoot that shot.
Moore missed the shot, then got screened to the deck. Clowney is 0 for 4 from 3 in the first half. Turns it over here. Back to Moore.
Nice decision by Moore. Did not have numbers.
Jeffries off the fake.
Good early look. Can Alabama free up Miller for some looks?
Clowney, the runner, off glass, kisses that one home.
Pretty obvious that I think the message from Nate Oates in the locker room to Clowney, get the ball and go aggressive to the rim.
Coleman just got loud. Jeffries, big time bucket.
Step back jumper late in the clock over the outstretched arms of Bediako.
Lead back to 5. Bradley, not this time. Tolu Smith clears. Jeffries again, that's a 3.
Really getting some good looks though.
Bulldogs now 2 of 8 from behind the arc. Alabama has yet to attempt a 3 in this half. And now Sears. Bediako tried to rip it out of there, couldn't control it. Davis will track it down. Shaq Moore left wide open. That's a 3. 41-33.
Again, turnover leads to the scramble play. The defense is disorganized. Moore makes them pay.
Transfer from NC State. Minutes have gone up over the last 2 weeks. Bama turns it over. And again, it feels like MSU kind of wards off another Bama run.
Take another look. Ill-advised shot. Everybody thought that was going to be a jump ball. Everybody kind of gave up on it. Finally, Davis is able to gather, and the left-hander Moore knocks down the 3-ball, who has shot the ball much better in the last week or two.
Shot clock down to 10. Smith inside. Matthews with a dunk.
Oh, my goodness. In traffic. That is a man's flush.
43-33. 7-0 run. Bradley against Moore. Yeah, he was falling away and somehow got that to go. Miller was open in the corner for a moment. And another turnover, the 10th for Alabama. Matthews. Boy, the spin, he fell down and he traveled.
Interesting to note that Miller, and you made mention of this, operates in the corner. But Alabama's offense is not able to go from one side of the floor to the other and find him. I would be tempted maybe to bring Miller out on the floor and get him some touches in different ways. And whoever's guarding Miller, you'll notice on any drive, they do not leave him. So this, on this particular possession, is Jeffries.
Just 6 points for the leading scorer in the SEC. Brandon Miller, 24 in white. Likely lottery pick coming up later this summer. Quinterly probes and finishes. Lead down to 8.
Little old school mid-range off the window.
You don't see a ton of those,
No.
especially for Nate Oates.
Little Sam Jones.
Here's Jeffries. Bottled up. He'll get it back. And Jeffries full head of steam off glass. And an offensive foul. Bama gets it back. The lead at 8. 4.5 into our second half. 8-point lead for Mississippi State over number 2 Alabama. Mark Wise, Roy Philpott. Back at Coleman Coliseum as we check out the Mayhem moment brought to you by Allstate.
Good movement without the ball by Cameron Matthews leads to this dunk. But what impresses me about this play, watch on this last angle. His momentum was actually going away from the rim and not at the rim. Quite the explosion.
Matthews with 4.
How about, Roy, we're in the second half, and these two teams have both knocked down the same number of three-point shots.
Not what you would anticipate coming in. Out of the timeout. Matthews picked up his second personal.
Yeah, I like the adjustment, trying to get Miller in a different spot.
And Matthews, boy, stuck in there the last second. It looked like that Pringle was going to slam it on Society for a moment. Instead, that'll be the third on Matthews.
Take another look. High pick and roll. McNair gets caught in no man's land. Matthews was trying to help the helper. And just a hair late. Grabs the arm. That's a good call.
Pringle 1 for 1 at the line. 50% on the year. 5 points so far tonight. Make it 6. Well, you can feel the energy in the arena tonight where it feels like they're just trying to will Bama kind of with one of those massive runs to grab the lead for the first time. It has not happened yet. All credit to Mississippi State on that front. Couple of free throws, clutched by Pringle. Bama now 8 of 9 at the line. Mississippi State still 0 for 3.
Bama going down the floor a little bit.
More thought about it. Bump by Miller. Alabama's defense ratcheting up a couple of notches. Lob to Stevenson, not that time. Quinterly to Miller. Spins it in.
Errant pass on one end leads to a run out by Miller. Does that get him going? Does that get Alabama going?
The lead's down to 4. Davis splashes home the mid-range.
I thought Moore gave up that shot on the previous possession. Take what the defense gives you.
Quinterly blocked at the rack. Was that Jeffries? Boy, numero 0 skying. Pinned it against the backboard. And another turnover. Quinterly tried to spot Pringle.
Mississippi State's defense is so good at getting into passing lanes.
Davis, no. McNair with the offensive rebound, quadruple team, and was fouled. That'll go against Dom Welch.
Take another look at Brandon Miller in transition. Leading the break, gives it up, gets it back. Artistic finish. But Mississippi State's defense has been so good. Matthews pins that. And then the quick hands of Davis.
And inside, a foul called quickly on the inbounds on Pringle. So that's his second. And he'll quickly check out. Bediako back on the floor with the 3 personals. This has been a hard-fought game tonight. Mississippi State trying to get back in Joe Lunardi's good graces. Tolu Smith blocked. Back to Bama.
Well, it was the right read by Stevenson to hit the streaking Smith. Great recovery by Bama's defense. Bediako with the rim protection.
Here comes the trapping three-quarter court pressure. The 1-3-1. That's a 3 from the corner. No. Griffin off the mark. Miller with an offensive rebound. He's tripped up.
But where did the ball go against the trap? Below the free throw line. Good things will happen. It moves the defense. And when you do that, not only do you get a better look, but you have rebounding opportunities.
I'm going to ask you again in terms of Brandon Miller. Can Alabama do anything differently to try to get him more touches? He's 4 of 6. He's got 8 points, but still really hasn't tried to take this one over yet.
He needs more shots. I do like the adjustment they made to bring him out on the floor. That's a foul.
And Moore picks up his second foul in the last 5 seconds.
I think Mac Nance is calling this both ways. I think this is going to be a double foul. And I don't think this is where the ball was. I think this is going to be on Davis and Miller.
That's correct. Well, you identified that quickly.
Yeah, they're just kind of pushing and shoving each other. Friendly. Mike Nance wants to end that right now. There wasn't a lot there. There's 2 guys competing. Now this is a hole.
Yeah, more physical play, and you can feel that changing. Jeffries. That's his second.
Now what you don't want to do if you're Mississippi State is put Bama in the bonus early. Already 5 team fouls.
A lot of basketball left to be played. You saw the hard hats in the stands. It's been a blue-collar effort tonight for the Bulldogs so far. Nearly another turnover. Shot clock at 10. Jaden Bradley. A Euro, throws it off the glass. No. Who wants it? Bediako fights for it. Turns it over. There goes Davis. Blocked by Miller.
You can almost sense that coming because Miller was very measured in trying to time the block. Davis out in front. Miller goes, Did he block that with both hands? Did he get it right-handed first there and then left-handed? Oh, my goodness.
There was concern about his head hitting the backboard for a moment as well. Miller pulls it off. Stays with the Bulldogs. Stevenson to Smith. Little clear out for big number 1. And the pump fake draws the foul. That'll be the 4th on Bediako.
Bama has allowed Bediako to play one-on-one in the post with his length. But it's the strength of Tolu Smith. Takes away the space. Take another look. He goes into the space of Bediako. Little ball fake. Tracks the contact.
Tolu Smith, 3 of 15 at the line in the first meeting between these two. Splashes home an important free throw here.
Here's a number for you. Tolu Smith this year, to illustrate the struggles that State has had at the free throw line. Tolu Smith by himself has missed 63 free throws.
That is a bitter pill to swallow for our friends in Starkville. 1 of 2 there. Lead back to 7. It's been a working margin for the better part of this game.
Love the adjustment. Get Miller out on the floor.
Hot potato back to Quinterly. And Clowney. Contact there with Tolu Smith.
Roy, these fouls are adding up. This means now that Bama will shoot the bonus from this point forward.
And Smith with the personal will get a breather. His 3rd foul.
You can't just stand. Everybody's standing going, showing their arm, throw me the ball, throw me the ball. It doesn't work that way. Cut, move, get open, find an open space.
Now, Coach, it may not be the final exam, but the effort this weekend goes a long way to determining that final grade at the end of the semester. Fish posed a question the first half to us. We couldn't hear him because it's so loud in here. The question was, who wins the SEC Big 12 Challenge as you take a look at all the great matchups headed your way?
Well, I think Auburn's going to win. I think Alabama's going to win in terms of 2 road wins. And I think Kentucky will win at home and Tennessee will win at home.
That's 4.
I'm having trouble coming up with the 5th one, but I will tell you, if you're going to win those 4, and I think Tennessee will beat Texas at home in a doozy of a game, and then the 2 Blue Bloods, 2 of the winningest programs in collegiate basketball history go at it, it could come down to the Ole Miss at Oklahoma State game.
I'll be in Stillwater. I'll let you know how that goes. There's a foul. Clowney lost control, but was contacted, drew the whistle, and McNair picks up his 2nd. So Bama now in the bonus. You mentioned the importance of this from the Alabama perspective. Clowney to the free throw line for the 1-and-1.
You know what Clowney is learning tonight as a freshman? It doesn't always come easy. Can he find a way to impact the game in different ways?
You mentioned earlier he has rocketed up draft boards. His athleticism, and you look at the frame, you know that that's going to fill out. Scouts love him. They love Brandon Miller. A couple of first-round draft picks likely later this summer. And 2 for 2 there, 46-41. Chris Chance looking like a mad scientist on the sideline, trying to figure out how to generate enough offense to leave Tuscaloosa with a dump. Davis. That won't help the cause. Clowney clears.
Pretty good team defense that time by Alabama, who's had a hard time getting a handle on Mississippi State.
Joe Lunardi has two teams from the SEC on the one line right now, Alabama and Tennessee. Tennessee crushed Georgia earlier tonight at home.
Quickly, I want to go back to that 76 Alabama team as we take a look at the 1 and 2 seeds, as Joe has them at the hour. That 76 Alabama team came the closest. That's the year Indiana went undefeated, the last undefeated team we've had in college basketball. Bama, they beat Bama. That was the closest game that IU had in that tournament run.
Over the back of the foul called, Cloudy right over McNair. We go back 20 years ago, and of course, current Crimson Tide assistant Antoine Petway, a part of that team in the backcourt, and now an assistant, as we indicated. And who knows what the end of this year will look like. And we talked to Brandon Miller today, said, I'm here to win a national championship. And a foul call on Brandon Miller quickly. Terry Oglesby with the whistle that time. Miller says he was grabbed.
Take another look. As Matthews went away, that's a foul.
So that's his third. 11:35 to go, one possession game. Moore defended by Quinterly. Shot block under 10. Shaq Moore back to McNair. He has that shot in the arsenal. Not that time. Jeffries. Griffin. That would have tied it up. A rebound play by Bama and a fresh 20. Quinterly for three.
This crowd is just waiting.
Tied now 3 of 18 from deep after that last miss. It's been one of those nights shooting. Mississippi State's defense played a large role in it so far. Davis somehow got it back. McNair for three. Still a one-possession affair.
The adjustment that Alabama has made that I really like is bringing Miller out on the floor. Not enough movement, though. Too many people in one spot.
Sears outside to Griffin. Off the fake. There's the floater. And the pass. 46-45.
Griffin, another freshman with a mature play.
Davis off the screen. Halfway home in our second half in Tuscaloosa. Jeffries, offensive foul. And that is number 4 on Cameron Matthews.
Out of control, Chris Jans screaming. What are you doing? Be smart here. Jeffries kind of dared the officials to make this call.
It was Jeffries, not Matthews.
Excuse me, Jeffries. Thank you, partner. Miller slides over, out of the arc.
Alabama has not led tonight. Chance to do so on this possession. Can Sears do it? Griffin. Yes, he can!
Shooting the ball much better in his last 3 games. That's his 8th made three.
Stevenson on the dime drop perfectly by Cameron Matthews.
see it coming.
Bush just one for the last 9. Davis was fouled on the 3, and Griffin clipped him.
It's all about the angle of your closeout. You cannot close out and run into the shooter. You've got to angle yourself so that you go by the shooter.
Deshaun Davis at the line, 71% this season. Mississippi State tonight as a team just 1 for 5. Davis led the Pac-12 in assists a season ago. Has been instrumental for Christians this year. Southern Hoops, the history of SEC basketball, our highly anticipated 7-part documentary. Every Monday through March 13th, we'll have a new show, the premiere episode Monday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, right here on the SEC Network. Also on the ESPN app. They start by looking at the years 1930 through 1959, from Naismith to Rupp, highlighted by Adolph Rupp's arrival in Lexington. 3 free throws for Deshaun Davis.
I cannot wait to watch that every Monday night at 9 o'clock.
I've seen the previews. I feel like I've seen the trailers, and every one is even more enticing.
plus 17 in three-point differential.
Here comes the full court pressure. Miller back to Gurley. He'll beat it easily.
Yeah, how easily he threw over there. Well, this is a gamble. If you don't foul and Bama scores, you're in a bad spot.
Matthews on Sears. Here's Quinterly. He's got a bounce in his step. He'll give it up. Sears, the step back triple. Rebounded by Tolu Smith. The shot clock is off. Coleman is roaring. Matthews. Bulldogs gotta go. Moore rejected. Reed has it. That's a two. That'll do it. Alabama finds a way. (66-63) the final in Tuscaloosa.
Roy, against Houston on the road, Alabama won in spite of Miller only having 8 points in the game. Tonight, Alabama only made 5 3-balls. In league play alone, they average almost 11. So to get wins in this kind of hard-fought fashion, it'll pay dividends for Bama down the road.